Hey, grab your taste buds, pull out your kitchen utensils. We're going behind the kitchen doors with the man who spent a year or two behind them, a whole lifetime, Chef Pascal.
My
Welcome,
life
sir.
is not over.
I didn't say it. It's oh yeah. That's how do we say that? You've spent a year or two. You've spent a little time behind the kitchen doors here.
40 years.
When was the earliest when you were a chef? I mean, you walked out.
Well, that's one thing. We cannot call ourselves chef when we first start.
Okay.
So I was in my first kitchen and when I was 14.
14. Wow.
And this has a lot to do with our guest today.
That's what I was trying to get to here. You have one of your proteges, longtime proteges with you.
Yeah, he want to say my favorite protege. And no, if he say I'm his favorite chef, I'm totally fine. With
He could say that way, but I don't do it the way here. So you guys have worked together for a long time. You started when he was young, like that?
So
when
his name is Cloyce Martin, and so going back to when did I start? I met Chef Cloyce. Now we can call him Chef. Right?
Finally.
Yeah.
That was just last week you finally called him chef after how many years? No.
Just for the show.
Yeah, right, just for the show.
So I was doing some cooking demonstration in the local farm here, and a man who happened to be his dad came to me and said, my son is a very good cook. And he showed me one of the menus, say, he's always try to do something new, he's very creative, and that's so easy. Well, it's right there. He was like a kid. How old were you?
Probably 13 or 14.
13 or 14, same thing, yeah. Right.
So my demonstration was just to make a crepe, when you put the batter and then you turn the little tea and then you make a round crepe. I said, well, come on.
You think you're so smart?
He never done that in his life before. And then, bam, he just nailed it. So, not bad. And so there was really his first cooking work with me.
So later on, did you employ him then later on in a restaurant?
I could not when he was 14.
Yeah, clearly.
As soon as he was legal age to work in
Even though you worked at 14 in France, so that's a different world.
Yeah, France is different. But and then from that, he could tell how creative and talented and passionate, a little bit passionate.
Yeah.
And then
Just a sprinkle.
Yeah, and he came a long way, and we're going to talk about what he did in between and what he's still doing now. It's like his chef life like a dream life for young people who want to be in the business. And I would say he's a freelance. He control what he want to do, and he's not stuck at one place because he doesn't like to be stuck in one place, I guess. So
one of those.
Yes.
Creative has to fly free here. Okay, all right.
So on and off, Cloyce worked for me in a couple of kitchens, also some catering and some special events and charity events, and he's very well recognized in the culinary world, not only locally, but even nationally.
I can tell he still sees you as his mentor because he won't speak up. He's letting you talk and talk and talk. Let's bring him in.
We're going to let him talk.
Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
What was the journey like? Let's go through it from those days to these days.
Yeah.
Well, before we dive too deep, thanks for having me. My biggest supporters used to always say that I have a great face for radio.
We'll find out.
Okay, Paul, you're in trouble.
That's why I'm getting here.
But I guess you recorded
producer.
too. So.
You have a good voice for radio too.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
So the journey. The
Sounds
journey
like-
as a kid, your dad walks up to a chef, a big chef, and says, "Here, I want to introduce you to my son." The chef says, "Okay, smart kid, try this," and he's like, "Oh, okay." And you keep in touch. Later on, when you can, you're eager to go work, and you through the years have collaborated and worked with him, and now he calls you a chef. What's that
It's
like?
been a beautiful journey. At the time, I was studying at the Orange County School of the Arts in their Culinary Arts and Hospitality Conservatory. And I think that's where a lot of the early foundational techniques started to take form. And after that program, my parents would come pick me up, again, still too young to drive, and would get down to the restaurant where chef would show me the classic French techniques. Now at this point, I had a work permit. Everything was all perfect, and luckily I had been in a couple kitchens before that, and had done a couple cooking competitions as well, but was very fortunate to have the structure and the classic French technique that Pascal so skillfully employs and has mastered to really build a foundational culinary, structure. And I think that is where I owe you, aside from all of the numerous opportunities, but owe you a massive amount of credit for the strength of the cooking technique, which has then allowed for all of these other beautiful opportunities to be executed well.
So I'm sitting on the outside listening to this love fest here. I gotta interrupt one thing and throw in a question here, which I just thought of at this moment. All the years I've been around, I don't know how to cook, but I love to eat. And I've
Anyone
met
can
lots
cook.
of chefs through the. Oh, not me. I don't know, but
Paul, it's not too late. I can teach
you think so? All right. Well, if you could, if anybody could, you probably could. Here's my question: you talk about foundational technique. Is French cooking in the Western world a foundation for all cooking? German cooking, or is everybody different? Italian cooking.
What are you saying in Western
Not even the
world?
Western world.
Yeah,
A-
all
across
The whole world. I'm
the
sorry. Okay.
entire
What am I
world.
saying?
Yeah.
The techniques of French cuisine are the basis for anything good. When you start to even look at, other cuisines, their foundation are based in French technique. I mean, you can still see the French influence in a lot of ways across the Mediterranean, in Vietnam, for example.
Yeah.
When you go in and you get a banh mi, what bread is that on? It's on a baguette,
Okay.
under which
Yeah.
is a French pâté.
Right.
So
Even a tortilla can be considered as a crepe, no? And
We just had somebody in who you knew on a previous show talking about Indian food, Indian cuisine, the Indian culture. And to me, that's about as foreign as I can taste. The spices and everything are so unique and different.
but
So
the techniques are very similar.
that's what I'm getting
They
at.
do a
yeah.
lot of braising meat, braised meat.
Okay. That's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
And if you can Google, our listener can Google Escoffier.
Escoffier.
Yeah.
What? That was a famous school of cooking.
No, famous
Auguste
chef.
Escoffier.
Yeah, he first was chef at the Savoy in London, and then became the chef and became the owner of the Ritz in Paris.
Wow.
And
The
for
Ritz
us,
in Paris.
he-
Yeah. Hemingway, where Hemingway stayed and wrote, and or the
Sure.
Ritz in
Yeah.
Paris. Yeah.
But there was a little bit after, but Escoffier is really the founder of the French techniques and the creator of a cuisine brigade, how to organize a kitchen.
Brigade. What? So what would those? Give me a sample. What would some of those techniques be? Braising. What would you learn if you studied under a great French chef, following what Escoffier started those many years ago? What would you learn? What techniques are we talking about here?
Let's see.
I mean, quite notably attributed to the era would be the mother sauces, the 5 sauces that have produced the foundation of every other sauce that exists. Not to mention the fact that when you go into a true French restaurant, it is the sauce that really brings the entire thing together.
It really is.
You can
yeah.
have different components, but as soon as that reduction hits the plate, that's when the marriage and the love really starts to be, spread across
So
that
don't
entire
make me
plate.
Google them. What are the 5 found? I didn't know there were
But
only
also
5
you have to
found.
start with the stocks and
Okay.
the fumé.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Consommes, all of these
Yeah.
techniques that then produce the sauces. You have sauce hollandaise, which is
What I'd say
your
hollandaise. or
hollandaise,
an
yes.
American mispronunciation. Okay.
correct, from which you have many, many favorites, béarnaise being probably among the most well-known derivatives. Then you have sauce
Used to put that on
espagnole.
steaks.
So hollandaise
Put it on
is
anything.
it's an emulsion. of
Right, hollandaise,
egg yolk.
like on an eggs Benedict or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Which can be used in a number of ways. Classically on a Benedict, but over a lobster, on a
Yeah.
cold poached asparagus, with a steak. Great.
All right, so
derivatives
that's
too.
one. I recognize that one.
Okay. Then you have velouté.
That one I've even never heard of.
Velouté typically made with a chicken stock, a reduction of the jus. That one's classically served with, quite a few different meats and vegetables.
yeah.
Honestly, that's a diverse one.
But it's
You
a
have
chicken stock.
Chicken stock. and we-
typically, but now things have expanded to be where you can kind of call anything a velouté if the
Yeah.
technique is
Velouté.
followed.
But the best one, you have to thicken it.
Thicken it. Okay, with like flour or something? Or what do you...
Flour or cornstarch for people who
Cornstarch, okay.
are gluten intolerant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Usually
so-
starts with a roux.
I don't even remember the name of it. Say it one more time.
Velouté.
Velouté. All right.
Yes,
All
that's
right,
a good
that's
one.
two. I never heard of number two. Give me the three more.
Then you have espagnol.
Yeah.
Which is the reduction typically of veal or of beef now that turns into demi-glace, turns into all of your base, rich kind of sauces and
You
gravies.
said Espanol. That's like how you say Spanish, right? Or is that...
It
Well,
would
yeah.
be, but spelled differently.
It's
Espagnole.
It's like
Okay.
there's a process. You have to make a veal stock or beef stock,
Yeah.
and then it become a demi-glace, and then you add some tomato base into it, and then that's an espagnol.
Okay.
And it's rich and delicious.
Okay.
And
That's, so what do we have? Three. Got two more to go.
so then you have bechamel.
Bechamel. I've
Which-
heard. What is that? Is that butter? No.
That is
oh,
a,
yeah, it's quite a lot of butter.
there's some butter in there. It's a white or blonde roux, a white roux that then has milk incorporated. You do what's called an onion peak. So there's clove,
Yeah.
there's onion infused into that milk.
And the roux is like 50-50 flour and butter
Mm.
that you cook together, and then you add dairy into it.
And what would you accompany with that? What would that sauce go
Most
with?
notably, you would take bechamel, you would add cheese, turning it into a
Mornay.
mornay, and that is the base sauce for America's favorite mac and cheese.
Normally,
Aha.
if you make
If,
it
if
right.
you do it well.
Oh, if
This
you-
is not your craft
You
mac
just
and cheese.
you just preempted my next question, which was what happened to these sauces? I don't see them in modern American cuisine
They don't
except
cook,
mac
they
and
don't
cheese.
call it because it would be too fancy. Or
Too
something.
fancy, too frou-frou.
Too, say, yeah, I make my mac and cheese with a Mornay. What?
But you really should. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
it makes all the difference to
you
take
know,
the
it's,
steps.
it's perfect also to if you bake some vegetables,
Yeah.
and you put it on top, and then you boil it. And, it's fantastic.
Indeed. All
And
right.
you can see the influence here too. When you make a lasagna, for example,
Mm-hmm.
there is a layer of bechamel.
Normally, yeah,
Classically, if you do it deliciously,
yeah.
and the same for
Unlike my mother, late mother, if you do it deliciously.
when you make
Sorry,
moussaka,
Mom.
for example,
Yeah.
too, all the way over in Greece.
Yeah.
That top layer is effectively bechamel.
Yeah.
That is then crisped with all of the Mediterranean vegetables. So
All right. Did
The
we miss
influence-
one? We had what? Same again. We had Bernays.
Yeah. What can you? Yeah.
Hollandaise.
I want you to guess.
All right, hollandaise, which was a type of Bernays, or Bernays is a type of hollandaise. So we had hollandaise, and the other one I can't even pronounce.
velouté,
Velouté.
espagnol,
But it's like espagnol or something.
Espanol,
Yes.
like Spain, Espanol.
And then there was the bechamel. That one
But
I've
you're
heard of.
missing one.
yes, and
Yeah,
the fifth.
and then the
Mornay.
Mornay is a derivative of the bechamel.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a second level.
And the
missing the
fifth,
last one.
chef wants you to guess.
Oh, you want me to guess at this?
Think globally as far as sauces go. What would
Yeah,
be?
it's probably the most popular sauce.
Really? I can't
You
even
have
think
it on
of
a lot of favorite American food. And
tomato sauce or something?
Yeah,
Bingo.
go.
Sauce tomate.
Sauce tomate. Yeah.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Because when in doubt, put a tomato sauce on something, spaghetti or meat or chicken
You- what-
cacciatore or
you,
whatever.
You,
yeah.
you can do a lot to start with tomato sauce. You can do some others with that, you know. And so, all credit for the Italian, but it's a French sauce.
Yeah, drives them nuts to think about.
So if you go back far enough, hundreds of years, were these all derivatives of things that people did in their homes in France, and then Escoffier sort of standardized this and turned it into a school of cooking, or is that saying too much, or do you just bring it
Escoffier was
together?
the extreme fancy
Version
food.
of it, right?
At home, you do whatever you have.
Right.
If you have a farm, you make a sauce with egg yolk. If you have some chance to have some cream because you have cows, and then you make your own cream and you make a cream sauce. So really, the location and the access to the product. That
Was
you-
Escoffier kind of the first famous chef of all kinds? Because I don't know if in the 1800s
One
there
of
were
them.
famous. There was somebody who might be famous because he cooked for the king or something, but there wasn't schools of culinary of cuisines of styles of cooking. I don't think, or maybe I'm just.
He
not
was
knowing.
a pioneer. He was a pioneer.
When did he live? What years roughly? Did he live in the 1900s, the 1800s? I don't know.
1800.
Just a couple years before us.
All right, okay.
But he notably gave structure to the kitchen environment,
That's
which
what I was looking
was
for.
very important.
That's
He
the
took the structure of the military and then applied it to a
Yeah.
kitchen. So when chef says something,
We
chef is the general. You
Yeah.
don't say anything but we
Yes,
chef, or you suffer the possibility of having a baguette thrown at your head.
Yeah.
And
Like the cap chef, we used to come in here with we chef.
We
Yes,
chef,
chef.
yes.
Just- That's
Exactly.
it. Yes, chef. Yes, sir.
You know,
that's
this
all
is,
you say.
This is part of the training in the French kitchen. Very important.
Yes, chef.
And you work your way up. You start as a commis.
As
and
a
then
what? As a what?
commis.
What's that?
Commis is the lowest level in a kitchen. You just learn how to peel potatoes first, and then you move up, and then you become a cook, and then you become chef
Chef de
de partie. So because the kitchen is divided in different positions, you can either do the fish, the meat, the grill,
I
or the
didn't know
sauce.
that. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought one guy's just back behind the oven flipping whatever
Yeah,
there.
if he's the only chef in the kitchen, yes.
But in a formal
and
French
then,
restaurant.
And then you have the sous chef, and then the chef. Yeah. So,
And as you rise in sort of these big kitchen environments, to specialize in something is to have a higher status in it. To be the chef who's doing the fish solely would be a respected position. And then even beyond
Or
that,
the pastry
the-
chef. That's
the
all you do is
saucier.
the saucier.
and you,
Right.
you know the hat in the
Yeah.
kitchen?
Yeah.
It's called the toque.
Okay.
Higher is a toque.
I didn't
Higher
know that.
is a grade of the
I
chef.
never knew that. I always
Yeah.
wonder why they wear these funny hats that stick up in
Yeah,
their
and
head.
the commis has just a little beanie.
Yeah.
You can't wear
He
a
just
hat.
gets a beanie.
Yes.
All right.
you know.
They
Well,
used to
I'm
say
a
that
beanie guy.
every fold in the toque would represent a chef's ability to cook a different egg a different way.
A
So-
different egg, a different way.
Cook an egg a different way.
You
So there's
crack it, you
there's-
put it on something, and that's it. There's how many ways are there to cook an egg?
you would be
Many ways.
amazed
Have
how
you,
many ways.
Have you deep fried an egg?
Deep fried an egg? Never even heard of that.
Try it.
Okay.
Add that to the list.
All right.
Put an extinguisher next to you. But,
Extinguisher, all right. Yeah, because that's what'll happen if I do it.
So, Chef Cloyce, or Cloyce, because you're my friend as well, and was it when did you have the dream to be in a kitchen? And this because your dad wanted to eat well at home? Or?
Well,
We need a chef in that family.
yeah, they planned it quite well. They both had their professional careers, and when I was about 4, they both kind of separated from their professional careers to start their own business from home, doing real estate and other things, which effectively gave them the freedom to sleep in. Not good for me. I was up at 5:30, ready to rock and roll. Hey guys,
Yeah.
what's for breakfast? What are we doing?
Mhm.
And they were not so pleased to see me every morning when they had worked their entire lives to have this newfound freedom. They said, "Listen up, kid. You go back to sleep. We'll do breakfast in a few hours." Well, naturally, being the independent one that I was and very much still am,
You haven't changed yet.
I wasn't having it. I went down, a little butter in a bowl, made myself a microwaved egg frittata.
At
My parents
4
came
or
down,
5 or 6?
4
or
years
something?
old, they
Oh my
say.
God.
And I said, "I'm all good. I don't need you guys anymore. Thank you." You've served your purpose. I'm off on my own.
If you can cook your own egg,
You served
know,
your
you've made
purpose,
it.
parents. Thank you.
I dropped my emancipation documents off. And said, thank you very much.
You know, the audience needs to know that a lot of people actually may know. When you hire in a classical French cuisine,
Yeah.
especially in France, and you interview, they make you cook an omelette.
Mm-hmm.
They make you cook on. Isn't that the simplest thing in the world? The easiest thing?
No, simple thing if you do it terribly, but if you want to do it right, there's a little technique, and I mean you have a skill to
Yeah.
cook the eggs.
Temperature control, knowledge of the product, fat introduction, all of these things make a huge difference
Yeah.
for an omelet.
Wow.
And to know the classic technique. It should be completely blonde. There should be no color.
No color.
Not your Denny's omelet where they, hard sear it and you get what we now refer to as a country style omelet.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the only
That
thing I've
doesn't
ever
exist.
seen.
And it should be soft and almost wet in the center and should eat like custard. It should melt.
I don't
in
like
the
when
mouth.
an omelette is cooked flat. It has to be folded, and even with the ingredient mixed into the eggs. There's so much better. It's like the frittata is amazing too.
You guys should have eaten where I ate in the Midwest. You got what it was, and it all looked like Denny's food. It all looked like frozen fast food here.
Well, not to say that we grew up spoiled necessarily, but with an understanding of different technique, I guess, is just kind of opens your eyes to what could be, or
Of course,
perhaps what even should be.
Yeah.
But
And
yes,
you're saying this
drawing-
technique would carry into if I went into an Indian restaurant, which to me is the most exotic cuisine I can think of, and spices and things I just never tasted, have really no understanding of. Or Greek is pretty different, or Thai, or any of this. If I went in, these techniques would still hold up and hold true,
Well, yeah, but also
even though the ingredients would change. but-
flavors, seasoning are different. The French are more settled, and they're just more precise taste. They're too complex.
I'm going to
sometimes,
put a challenge to you guys. So
And
this last woman came in. You knew her name. She was talking about. She was on the Hispanic Chamber show, but she was talking about some Indian cultural events. She joined the Hispanic Chamber to promote cross-cultural connections here, and she said this is chaat masala. Have you ever heard of that spice?
Masala, yeah.
Yes.
And she says it's for fruit salads and tandoori meats.
Masala chicken is one of the standard
Masala
Italian
chicken, yeah, I've
cuisine.
heard of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's really good. Did you test it?
I didn't. I know so little about my mother's spice kitchen was salt and
Yeah,
pepper.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
it. That
Well,
was all
that's-
we had
yeah.
in there.
I don't
So
know.
Midwest cooking.
But now we have so many choice of
Oh.
salt too. So.
Oh yeah, right. You got sea salt or Himalayan
So-
pink salt.
All right. So you start working with me. Was that the first employer for you?
I mean, not legally. I had
Okay, the truth's come out now.
well, I had a couple different projects before that. I think technically I was employed in the food competition capacity first, right? I did a couple cooking competition shows early on, which and then I worked with Chris at Cuci Cocina for
Yes.
quite a few months
Yeah.
to kind of get my feet wet. That was an easy walk from OSHA,
Yeah.
which made
Right
it much
there.
easier on my parents, so they didn't have to do all the driving
A
around.
block away. Yeah.
Exactly. And so your restaurant was my first official structured job. Yes.
Yeah.
And
Actually, I met you at the school as well. You were doing. I came to do a French class one day, and you were there, and the chef at the school at OSHA said that you were amazing. You were the best.
did he say that?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
sure.
Yeah.
So I
You're
said-
making this up.
said-
He's making it up.
No,
He told me
you
earlier.
You
He's a big
really
chef.
need to be in my kitchen, and then from that,
So what's it like when you meet a young wannabe? Do you have to knock him down a few steps because he thinks he's ready to go, or do you just embrace his creativity and turn him loose and just kind
Yeah,
of
are you
stand
talking
back?
to me?
Yeah,
No, when you're in my kitchen,
but
You-
young pup comes
well,
in.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the age, and you have to do my cuisine
Ah,
Even if you take my cooking class at school, at the college, and yeah, you can bring your own creativity, but do it at home, not in my class. So I've been
this is
dealing
not a
with that.
democracy. This is not a creative exercise. here?
We're not an.
Experimenting.
I'm more in a technical thing,
Right.
and Cloyce said it's all about techniques. And then when you are on your own, you can add your touch. But I can always see when somebody has a bright future, I can always see when they always try to add something and not modifying the recipe, but just a little add-on, and that's creativity because you can be good with the basic, but then you have to be creative, and you are that, And so I want to talk about you love not just social media, but you love media. Period. You like to be on
He's a media personality. With this new wave of chefs.
cooking show,
Yeah.
TV cooking competition, and it's been on national TV. And that. Can you talk about that?
Definitely. So the timing of all of the food things kind of happened a little backwards, to be honest with you. The perception of a TV chef is not necessarily one that garners respect for having, succeeded in the food world first. Rather, when you look at someone like Gordon Ramsay, who achieved multiple Michelin stars and then expanded into his media after that, there's a respect element there. But it happened suchly that I had my first TV job before I even had met you. And so we had that kind of element, and I never wanted to be known as a TV chef. I never wanted to, misrepresent my interest in being a part of the core chef community in doing the work.
Was there a competition?
The first one was.
Yeah. Did
Yes.
you win?
Many times.
So
Wow.
what are we talking about? Can
So
you give
that's
us a-
Man versus Child Chef Showdown.
Man versus child.
Yes.
Okay.
So they had to add that little Chef Showdown there at the end, just for legal reasons, or they'd get the wrong kind of viewers. So
Man versus child. Uh-oh.
that's where they started, and then they said, "Oh, we better throw in a little. What is
And this
this?"
was on what? Cable or network or what?
So it was on FYI, Lifetime, and Lifetime Asia. So I think at one point we had our faces on a bus driving through Shanghai,
Wow.
and someone said, "Hey, look at this." Like, that's
And how
pretty
old,
funny.
how old were you?
When we filmed the pilot, I was 12. We filmed
my
the
God.
first season when I was 13, right around the time I was going into culinary school. And then
So you were famous before you even really knew how to cook.
I really try not to use the F word for any reason at all.
Famous? Okay.
Exactly.
I never had my face on a billboard. I'm as famous as Chef has been locally, and people come up all the time and fawn over him. I don't. Did you have your face on a billboard ever here in Orange County?
He's had his face on
Everywhere. I've been-
many
I
publications.
have my,
Publications, yes, but I mean, but that
no,
kind
I
of.
have my own portrait in museum.
Well, that I know he is somebody famous.
He's kind of a
painted
big
you.
deal.
I know you're a big deal. I'm just saying,
I don't need to be on the billboard.
but to be a big deal when you were cooking did not entail being on television and media. It has changed now.
No. It did. But even though, I don't know, in early 90s, I was on Oprah. And,
You were?
yeah.
Okay, wow.
So,
I didn't know that.
it was start to
Continue
be
to amaze me.
nationwide recognized.
Well, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I was crazy because I created a French cuisine diet.
Ah,
And she said,
that
"This
seems
is-
like a oxymoron. Two things that don't fit together.
That's exactly
Yeah,
what
right.
she said. And
Okay.
she was very interested. Said, what do you serve? It's a French diet. So anyway, so now you keep on going on other shows. And I have to say, Chef Cloyce goes everywhere. So if he's not here, that means he's on middle of an ocean.
Or on a private yacht, or
Yeah, Chateau yacht or other yacht, or is flying to another country. Is it still ongoing?
It is definitely. I think, media now for me has been used to capitalize on networking opportunities and these sorts of, chances to interact with the broader community and to share my love of cuisine with more people, and then also subsequently hoping to inspire some young people as well to see the path. And I know there's an allure to this sort of luxury, overtone of the yachts and the helicopters and the private jets and
This is the world of
the
private
travel,
chefs that
right?
I've only heard about.
Yeah, I was always worrying. His parents were worried also. Said, what is he doing on a yacht for several days or a couple of weeks?
Smuggling in drugs or something. I don't know.
Something like that, smuggling in saffron.
Actually, he ended up to be on a TV show, film on a yacht with a lot of interaction between the guests.
Interaction. That's a clever way to say beautiful girls. And,
That is a nice way to say
all
that.
right. So, are you allowed to say have you cooked for celebrities or just rich people, or are we allowed to drop any names, or is it all hush hush here?
Many celebrities. I think one notably we didn't sign an NDA for. Chef and I, he had me cooking with him when we cooked for Kurt Russell
Yeah.
at what was that? The Illumination Foundation, I believe.
How cool is that? Kurt
Yeah.
Russell, Goldie Hawn's husband.
He loves good food, and
Does he? Okay.
he has a good winery as well.
I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
indeed.
Kurt Russell, very famous actor.
Quite a few other names. I'm trying to go back in my mind and see which ones I can legally discuss. I cooked for Beyonce's father. No
Okay.
NDA for that one.
Yeah.
That was a fun one.
But they do make you sign non-disclosures for some of
Yes.
these. and say
Some of them
beautiful.
do. Some of the boats themselves have a non-disclosure, which just covers clients across the board.
So do you get hired by the yacht charter, or do you get hired by the celebrity who saw you and reaches out and says, I'm curious how they find you. How do they know? They've seen your name, whatever, but how do I hire you? Do I just Google your name? Do I get recommended, or does you develop a relationship with the charter company?
Yeah, both are possible. So, I mean, some people will contact me through my website and say, hey, we saw this or whatever, and we're doing something in the Hamptons. Can we fly you out? Yeah, sure.
In the Hamptons.
What's your website?
ChefCloyce.com.
There you go.
And how do we
I tried
spell-
to make it easy.
I got to ask because everybody's going to wonder. Cloyce is not a name I've ever heard of before.
So I like to say, I wanted to relate myself to the most expensive thing I could think of. So I like to say Rolls Royce, Rolls Cloyce,
Cloyce.
So-
and that's CLOYCE.
CE.
Okay.
Yes. So ChefCloyce.com, ChefCloyceMartin.com, CloyceMartin.com.
Is that a name
You
your
name
parents
it.
gave you, or did you pick that name?
Well, his dad.
I wasn't there when they were deciding it. Yeah,
His dad has the same first name.
Oh, he does. Okay, all right. So
he does.
So that's
But
a family name.
different middle names, so I'm an original. But yes, I would say, there's an allure to the luxury living and all this sort of stuff. But to capitalize on the media to showcase what really goes into it, the hard work, the years of training. I mean, we had 7 beautiful years together
Yeah.
in the kitchen, which, not only is a long time as far as commitment, but that's my normal school day, then the cooking.
Was that tough? Did you want to give up sometime?
I never, ever wanted to give up.
he didn't say you weren't tough, though.
He was, in fact, very particular. And I think that is what creates a strong foundation for a good chef. Having a loosey-goosey set of guidance really doesn't create
No.
or instill any
So I
good
gotta
habits.
interrupt
Yeah.
again because when I met Chef and he said he's going to come and do a show, I thought every week there'd be a famous chef from a famous restaurant, and he's had several in here, and I'm sure we'll have several more. What I didn't expect are all these alternative paths, food trucks,
Yeah.
food halls, private chefs,
Catering.
I didn't ever envision, if I'm a young kid dreaming of cooking, I'm only thinking of getting behind the kitchen door and not into all these other things.
You have options,
Yeah.
and you have to follow I would say your guts.
Mm.
In what you want to be. You want to be in a kitchen with part of 12 cooks and
Right.
more.
On the
Or
line.
you want to own your restaurant and not have your cook showing up and you take care of everything. So
Yeah.
it's your choice.
Or catering, suddenly in 10 minutes you got to throw together something for 100 people or 1,000 people or
Yeah.
something.
Have some knucklehead kid splitting your seafood sauces. And
Yes, and then they call you and say, I'll be late. Okay, can you do my prep for me ahead of time.
But I didn't know there were that many options. Now, Chef currently teaches at
Yeah.
Saddleback College at their new.
This is we are progressing,
Yes.
and even when Cloyce started at the Orange County School of Art,
That's another one, yeah.
and with OCC, they were the only two places where you can learn.
Orange Coast Community College had a place where you
Yeah.
could go learn to cook.
The
yeah.
only two places, except Orange School of Art was more kind of more private, I would say, on smaller scale, but with great.
Was that the Orange County School of the Arts as a
Yes,
Yes.
program?
which
Okay.
also is a high school program.
Yes.
I thought that
notably,
was just
so-
for music and dance and things
No,
like
no,
that.
no.
Okay.
What?
'Cause-
Cooking.
Because it's like,
You can dance in the kitchen.
I guess you can, because I always thought it was like the movie Fame or the TV
I-
show Fame. That you,
we-
you leave your normal high school and you get
this
admitted
is
to
where
this one.
you understand that being a chef and being in a kitchen is also an art.
And it is, really.
It's very fun.
One of, if not the most immersive forms of art.
Yeah.
It is the only one where three-dimensionally you can interact with all five senses in any sort of close quarters.
I never
Yeah.
thought of that. You're not just playing a sound, or you're not just putting for your something appealing for your eye.
No, you have to smell, you have to listen, you have to, and then you have to be also, you have to manage. It's very important not just manage a restaurant, but manage a crew, because everybody. You're also a coach.
A coach, yeah, it's a team.
You're coaching, your team. It's very important.
So has Cloyce ever desired to open his own restaurant?
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I think
Ah, a little hesitancy.
He's still working on
A little
it. He's not
hesitancy.
sure.
it's a very difficult thing to discuss because I love the idea of having a platform to more closely share cuisine with more people. You know, the private world becomes limited as far as who you interact with, how many lives you can really touch with your food, because the very nature of it is having an intimate interaction. And with that often means fewer people. Now, of course, we do some large-scale events for thousands of people, but you know, with your restaurant, you're seeing hundreds of people every day, day over day. You're talking about tens of thousands of people.
And changing their lives. We've had people walk up to him at events and said, "You changed my life." Not just because you gave me an opportunity, but you my first experience with fine dining or whatever.
Can you say in a good way?
Yeah, but like for example, you were at an event, the Taste of Irvine. He doesn't even want to say this, but he was at the Taste of Irvine. Somebody comes up to him, was the PR person for one of the restaurants there. PR person. He says, "Oh my God, Chef Pascal, you don't know how you affected my husband's life." He's like, "Who's your husband?" She tells him. He still doesn't know. He apparently had cooked for Chef, had been some part of his crew at one time for a short period of time, and had always wanted to, but he left cooking, got a real job, as my mother would say, not just a fancy fun job here. But it changed his life about who he was and how he wanted. She was just gushing. She said, "I got to call my husband and everything here." Yeah. You impacted this guy's life in ways that that you didn't expect. You didn't even remember him.
Well, I have to say, when you get older, you realize that you touch a lot of people's
A lot of
life.
people. Exactly, that's my point. And if you have a platform, like you said, what, 20, 30 years, how long was Pascal's restaurant there?
And even some when I was not as cool as now, I'm more moderate in the kitchen.
Yeah.
They most of them don't regret me being pushy, and they thanks me for that. And I think it really changed them into their own life, in their own job, and they succeed.
That was the point he was making. Even though he didn't stick with cooking, it changed his life.
Yes, yes.
Wow. Okay, so we dodged the question. Do you want to have your own platform,
Yes.
your own place?
So
Still
my
thinking.
my passion in the food
Typical
world.
media personality. He just dodges the question and talks about what he wants
He
here.
likes the media exposure, that's for sure.
He's well trained at the art of media interviews here.
My passion lies within the creation of food and in new food. And so there's something to be said about sort of getting stuck into having signature dishes and having things that people expect of you.
You have to
You
make it
know,
all
this
the time.
consistency.
Right.
And now it's I come in because you make this, and that's all we'll eat. You know, Pascal will tell you he tried to take his sea bass off the menu, and clients come in and they go, "What the heck?
Yeah.
That's why I come here." Okay, I'll leave it on. And then pretty soon, 30 years later, of course, it's incredible and mind-blowing. But for me, I think the beauty of food, aside from just being able to do something incredibly well, is to be able to have that opportunity to interact with different foods and to also cook from my heart. I have yet to find a clientele that fully believes or would be excited about continuously seeing new things time and time again, and that would understand eating for the experience and not for themselves.
Yeah.
And to be able to tell the story and share through food, I think, is important.
That is
And-
a powerful example. All my friends say, "What's your favorite restaurant?" I say, "The one I haven't been to yet." I'm always want to try something different. And that
Exactly.
seems to be a rare quality. Most people want predictability, mom's food, comfort food, the same thing, the sea bass at Pascal's or whatever.
And
You
it
know,
is very good. If you haven't had it, you should make him cook it for you
But
so-
yeah,
at some point.
It's really on your bucket list.
somebody.
It really should be.
I'm going to go down that rabbit hole for a moment because you had who was the guy from Long Beach that was in here,
Oh, Paul Buchanan.
and he
Mhm.
and was his wife in here with him
Yeah.
too, and they stopped and had to talk about your seafood sauce. Was
Yeah.
that it?
Mhm.
Is that the same thing we're talking
Yeah.
about here?
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
This is like a once in a lifetime experience. I'm thinking, okay, sea bass. That doesn't sound that exciting.
Oh, chef would come into the restaurant, taste the sauce, and if it wasn't exactly
Spit it out.
perfect, he would drizzle it. Is the texture right?
Oh,
Is it right? Do the nappe check, and if anything was wrong, do it again. Again,
what's the nappe check?
nappe means that your sauce has reduced to a point of desired thickness, and so you will coat the back of a spoon, and you should be able to leave, you know, a line of your finger through the sauce
It's
without.
sitting all grouped
And-
together.
And,
here.
and then the
together.
traduction of nappe is when you take a spoon, you put it on the top of a fish or up top of vegetables. You should just have a thin lay covering.
Not a big,
food.
thick,
That's
not like
nappe.
ketchup. You just don't coat it and cover it.
You
or
know,
something.
nappe, I mean, you put
A
the table
napkin.
clothes as nappe, you know, so you cover the table.
Is that where they come up with napkin and that kind of word? Must be
Yeah,
some
nappe,
relation.
of
I'm
course, yeah.
sure it's a
Yeah.
derivative.
All right, so I'm hearing as much as he'd like to reach a
So-
bigger audience, he doesn't want to do the same gig every day.
I think if there was a restaurant environment where I could confidently serve whatever felt right that day, whatever was in season, that I certainly would love to share that element of myself with
And you've
people.
done that. You've done some pop-up.
A few at your restaurant and a
Yeah.
few around the country. And I think that's a nice way to bridge the gap.
On everybody, a pop-up is like if we have a kitchen available, you know, a restaurant that has been closed or whatever, you take over and you do 1 or 2 nights of a special
Yes, right.
dinner
Hmm.
and a prefix and 5, 6, 10 course. whatever.
Just for that moment, and then it
Yes.
evaporates and
Yeah.
disappears.
And then
Yes.
you never see it ever again.
So
And there's a
when you-
beauty in that.
years ago, we had on another show. I had a guy who was a private chef. I don't think he had your pedigree or your passion, or what, I'm just guessing. This is like he just fell into being a private chef, and he said the challenge was they want him to do everything. This week I want you to do Mongolian. The next week I want you to do classic French. Next week I want you to do barbecue. And he said, I don't know everything. So he'd have to, what do you just go get a book and look it up? Or do you bring an interpretation? Or do you have to have a big repertoire of a million things you can pull out of your hat? Well, how does that work?
A big repertoire helps for sure. This is where the foundational technique really starts to shine. This is like understanding the chords of a guitar
Yeah.
or the bass keys of a piano. You can take the technique and then just with a different little strum, now all of a sudden you're playing flamenco music.
Yes,
And now it sounds like a completely different thing.
exactly.
Or with a
It's
little
called-
change,
It's called the bling.
exactly.
Yeah.
You
Same-
add a little
same
flair.
chord, but a little different flair or flavor or
And to that
sequence.
exact note, by incorporating flavors that are known of the region, but with strong foundational technique, even knowing absolutely nothing about what would be traditional, you can recreate the flavor or the memory that this person's having by just understanding the basics of cooking.
Because that's
And
probably what they're asking for is a memory. They're trying to you to hit a note that they remember
the
and will
hardest
relate
one
to.
to do.
I saw the progress, but I'm going to ask a question after that. When Chef Cloyce started, he wanted to be creative, albeit for the sake to be creative, to be different.
Yes.
And then he started to learn more the basic thing out until on one point, I think we all, if we do a career in the kitchen, suddenly you feel confident. And you know, you say, I can do this, and then I'm going to add that. When did that start? Do you think you had a confident point?
Probably working in your kitchens, nearing the end of our restaurant, involvement together. I think that's when I felt a lot better about not only having the foundational technique, but then being able to understand flavor profile and say, I can piece these things together. Ooh, this would be good with that. And if we did a reduction here, okay, now we need a textural element. And that's when the music starts to come together, putting the different notes.
And to his point, do you get to a place where you don't have to be different just to be different, to stand out, where you can do the classic approach but add your own? You can either do it so perfectly that everybody goes, ooh, or you can do it with a little, it's classic but has your signature, a little note in there, something that's you. I mean, because I hear this all the time with musicians. When they start to play, I'm just going to play every note that there is and show you I can do it. It's all technique, but it's not music. And at some point they say, scale it back, cut it back. You don't need to do it all the time, everything. You have to throw it all out every time you do it here.
Chefs spend their entire careers learning how to make things simple.
Yes.
As simple as possible,
Yes.
while still highlighting and showcasing the technique. And at some point, the goal is to do as little as possible to showcase the beauty of whatever the element of the dish is that you want to stand out. To do as little as you need to for that sea bass to be buttery, soft, custardy, and to enjoy that product and say, hey, I mean, this is fresh, wild-caught fish. This is a tomato from the garden down the street. This is a freshly picked herb. To not adulterate it or ruin its structural integrity, but to kind of showcase the beauty of all of it in a cohesive manner is, I think, something that everyone is striving for. Now we sort of have this culinary, trend where everyone wants to do all this elaborate stuff and make food float, and people have really leaned into the show element of it. And
But
there's
that's why we call it trend.
exactly
It's not going to last forever.
there's a trendiness to it, and at the very heart of cuisine, I mean, when you look back at all the thousands of years, the goal originally was to eat, and there's sort of a middle ground of eating well, and then kind of all of the chaos and the noise, which admittedly can be fun. I mean, I like some of that extra element, some of the incorporation of things that are a bit bizarre or unknown.
Oh,
But
they bring
to do it with
flames into it, and they
respect-
do all sorts of crazy things just to put
Well,
on a big show.
Right.
If I can add, common people like us, we love to
Why are you
eat.
looking at me when you say that?
Yeah,
He looks down his nose and he says, common people
yeah.
like...
I was talking, the elevation
Yes.
of cuisine came because of royalties
Yes, royalty, right?
and jars. The jars used to want to have the best food, and they're the best chef in the world, and so they elevate the kitchen skill of
Right.
the.
It wasn't accessible to the ordinary human.
Exactly.
Right.
But now, it's more accessible, and you have
So
more
accessible you can do it
choice.
at home. I mean, they have these food channels and stuff where they show you how to do this stuff here. You can experience what you could only dream of at Escoffier, at the Ritz in Paris at one point in time here. I have to completely agree with what you're saying. I relate to it in music, and I'm a big jazz fan. The great Miles Davis, who was one of the pioneers, changed jazz in many ways. He used to say, it's not the notes you play, it's the notes you don't play. In other words, don't give me everything you got. that you got to choose once in a while. Which ones do I choose to accent, and which ones do I choose not to? I could throw another 50 notes in there, but I'm going to choose not to.
Also, it's like an artist that paints.
Yeah.
Some artists see a light air. Some other artists going to see the reflection of the light and the shadows. And
Yes.
So it's like each artist has their own touch on vision. And
Right.
that's why, the beauty of art,
Just because you have a million colors doesn't mean you have to use all of them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, more technique, more ingredients doesn't necessarily help. Oftentimes, actually, at some point, starts to detract. You lose the core value of whatever story you were
Or
hoping
the
to
core
tell.
flavor. That's my common complaint. I go to these really fancy restaurants, more so a few years ago in the 80s and 90s, California cuisine. It was how many things could you add? And at some point, I'm like, what am I eating? I don't even taste. That's chicken. It is. I don't taste any chicken in
I'm
there.
sure Chef Cloyce will remember when we cook in my kitchen a piece of fish, a piece of meat, and you have a rest time before you finish the plate. So
Okay.
you let it rest. And what I do when you let it rest, with the dripping, I put it back in the sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was inside a piece of meat, inside a piece of fish. You don't want that to go to waste. You put it back together. This is where it belongs. So
So you're saying you don't just drain it off and get rid of
no, not at
'Cause
all.
it's resting?
Yeah, I take a
Ooh,
little
get rid of that goo.
a little pad.
Towel.
Towel.
We didn't waste anything. I mean, the bottoms of vegetables went into a stock. The tops went into a salad. Anywhere that something could be utilized was. And that's something that I love about Northern French cuisine, too, is respecting all of the product.
The deglazing.
Exactly. To take all the flavor, but to take all the life force of the vegetables or the proteins that you're using.
A life force?
Yeah, when
There's
you really
a life force in a carrot?
Yeah.
when you really start to think about it, there certainly is. I mean, that's a life that we've just murdered, ripped out of the ground, taken from its home and its sisters and brothers.
It's a gift of nature.
Exactly.
Yes.
Wow, you guys are really deep into this thing here. It's a carrot. You pull it out, you
carrot.
chop it up.
It is, but even
Okay.
the tops of the carrot have, their own personality and their
Oh
own
my
story to tell.
Nothing better that you walk in Florian, the carrots are ready. You just pick it up, you wipe it, you eat it. Same with a radish.
That's true. I haven't had that experience very often because I have to go to a supermarket and pull it off the shelf. That's the only way I experience a carrot.
When I was starting at 12, my walk from school to home was
Yeah.
about 3 miles, 4 miles. Had to go on the side through some community gardens and sneak out some of the radishes so I can chew them before I go home. So,
Have you ever met, I'm sure you know Bill Bracken, Bracken's
Yeah.
Kitchen. He's been here numerous times. And he said that same thing in Texas or wherever. I think it was Texas he grew up, someplace like that. That's how he did it. He would just walk through the fields, and nobody yelled at you when you just pulled something out of the ground and ate it.
same thing as if you see a fruit that's over the fence,
Yeah,
you grab it. It's the best
grab
fruit.
it, eat it, right.
It's free game.
Yeah.
But today it's like that's wired. Or, you got fences and electric wires. Stay away.
So,
Well, all right.
Okay, let's see.
Last couple minutes. Last question.
The
or so.
vision. You're not ready. Well, you'll be ready if you wanted to. If you want to open a restaurant, what kind of cuisine you would love to offer?
What's the overall palette that you're going to be playing with? French, Mediterranean, modern American,
So
Greek.
difficult. My ideal situation would be an underground speakeasy jazz club. I love jazz
love it.
music. I love swing dancing.
You can come back
That was a-
anytime. I love that.
All right. Well, thank you.
So it would be
Um,
more of a night.
It would be
menu.
a swanky tapas style menu that would be a base of foundational French cuisine, some modern American influence.
Tapas being like little finger
will-
food.
will
kind of
you
stuff,
have
right?
enough-
Right,
You
little
know-
plates. I want people to eat with the intention of enjoying multiple things. I think
I love
to,
it.
to eat to fill up and just sit with a big bowl of spaghetti and meatballs, which the Italians will tell you isn't even Italian, is I think not the way life is meant to be lived. We're at a point now where you can enjoy different flavors, and to sit and eat a nice, beautiful duck breast and then have a tornado rossini and then sit and eat something perhaps with a little Spanish influence and taste the fiddlehead ferns for the 2 weeks that they're in
I
season.
think that has grown, but I still think that's a minority. I still think people want volume and they want predictability.
I hope to change this
Yeah,
mentality in
yes.
people and be a part of that
I agree.
movement, because that's where the food world will really start to make a long-term impact on people, on diet. You know, I think
Yeah.
people are not eating healthy on average. I think to
You know, Paul, you know, you go I see kind of a clubbing type of, you know, a little darker room.
Yeah, speakeasies.
But-
There's a whole
but
movement
you-
towards these
you-
old 20s. You knock on a door and
Yeah.
it's behind a bathroom and
Yeah,
you open
I
it up.
love it.
It's better than private. It's no
Sneaky. You gotta find it,
You have
yeah.
to be recognized.
Yeah.
But before you really vision your food, because there's not much bright light, you can smell the food before you see it.
Because you're in a dark atmosphere, you can't really
Yeah,
see it.
and that's so.
You
so
sense
wa-
it before you
So
taste it.
wake up and just say, "Hey, I'm going
Wow.
to eat something
Guys are
great."
getting me thinking here.
that's good stuff.
So I know we're wrapping up soon. Just to give all proper accolades. Well, first a quick story. When I first started in the restaurant, I was learning how to make Chef's famous Lyonnaise salad, a Dijon vinaigrette, butter lettuce, bacon lardon, and then topped with a poached egg. And just to give you an idea of how he runs the kitchen and how that sort of strict, but carefully thought out structure was. He said, "Hey, Cloyce, how long on the Lyonnaise salad?" Right? Trying to decide how long he had to make his salad. I said, 30 seconds, chef. And so he said 30, 29, 28, 27.
He took it literally.
Boy, did the heart rate start going. With 6 seconds left, salad up on the pass, we call it. And he said he went over, looked at the egg, made sure it was poached right, gave me a little head nod, and then off he went and never did that again. Thank God.
So it wasn't just a casual, I don't know, a minute or two. Yeah.
It was a test.
Yeah.
Does this kid have any idea what's going on? Luckily, I passed it. And at this point, also, I mean, mind you, I was still quite young. I also got my driver's license later than, I could have. And so one of my favorite memories that I'll always be thinking about, because I couldn't drive, Chef would drive me halfway home.
I love those moments.
And it was an opportunity to debrief on the day and say, hey, you did this, here's how we could have done it, here's an opportunity to be quicker, to be more efficient, just a debriefing on the food world, and then a chance for us to chat outside of the food world and get to know each other. And so those, I think, will be memories that I will cherish.
Even one little thing happened, a little adventure.
Yeah.
We were driving up the main street, going to my place or to his place, and then suddenly we see a car flipping over.
Flipping over.
Into
okay.
our lane,
Yeah.
Nice.
Jump over the middle.
The median.
hit a tree, and
It
rolled.
roll over. So we literally run to see what's going on. And there was one guy, the driver, hanging
Upside down.
upside down. He could not remove his seatbelt. So
Chef
this is
yells,
where you
"Get
see
a
you have a
knife."
good chef. You need to have a good chef. Do you have a knife? Because he came out from the kitchen. And his
Cloyce,
knife,
get your knife.
and his knife was perfectly sharp. And then I take the knife, and then the guy said, "Thank you."
That's like something out of a movie.
Hands me
Come
the knife.
on, that
Hands me
didn't
the knife
happen.
as the police officers are showing up. So
Yeah.
now me, I'm what, 15, 16, standing there holding an 8-inch chef's knife in my hand as these police officers are walking
Wait,
by.
what happened there?
That alone would cause questions
like,
and
oh, God.
handcuffs and interrogations. Yeah, right.
Oh,
Great moment. Great
And-
moment.
Wow, a swashbuckling end to what has been an adventure here today.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this story. How do they reach you if they want to find Chef Cloyce?
Chef Cloyce on Instagram, all over the internet. You can just type Chef Cloyce and you'll find me.
And, and spell it again?
ChefCloyce. YouTube, Instagram, wherever you get your media, TikTok, website.
Come
yes.
back and tell more stories, and I want to hear the story of the
Well,
speakeasy you're going to open
yes.
someday here.
So I want to wrap up with
Yeah.
2 words, maybe
Okay.
3. Uh,
Maybe 4.
cooking with chefs that respect the cuisine and things like that. It's not just cooking; it's an adventure,
That's what I sense here today.
and keep it going. And I'm sure your adventure is not over yet.
Ever evolving.
And an adventure never ends.
Indeed.
And
And it's been beautiful, Chef.
I can't wait to read your memoir.
Oh, yeah.
I'll write it soon. I'll get
I
started.
want
on
to
it.
read Chef because he just casually said to me today. Said today that he was on with Oprah. I never heard that. And one day he said, "Oh, and of course I cook for Brigitte Bardot." I'm like the sexiest woman alive in the '60s. Here he cooked. Oh, I cooked for Brigitte Bardot. I'll never forget that one here.
You should write one, Chef. I would like to read it. He has many stories.
I'll bet.
He sent me to France to cook with his mother.
Cook
I
with his
mean-
mother. Oh,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We forgot to talk about
I
that.
got to go to France for 6 weeks to study at the restaurant that was his first
I
culinary
found him
journey.
a stage in the restaurant that I cook first. Yeah.
And his mother showed us how to make veal blanquette. She got us drunk with
Yeah, mother. Come on, mom.
He was
Well-
not dating yet, but he was in France.
I was in France.
The best thing you got to learn though is when to end the story and always leave him asking for more. That's what we're gonna do right here
Yes.
today. Here with
Beautiful.
that note,
And I have to say, my favorite guest that I cook and serve
Yeah.
was Orson Welles.
Orson Welles. All right,
Unbelievable.
for another day. We'll hold that
day.
story
All right.
for another day.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you.
Ah, the mystery, the adventure. What happens behind the kitchen doors? Come back and learn more with Chef Pascal right here in Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio. Cooking every day from our studios here at the University of California, Irvine Beale Applied Innovation Center.